Are you ready for that book haul I promised you? Because I know you guys like watching book hauls, and I'd like to give you what you like to watch. So I ordered from Book Outlet twice in the month of April. The first time I did a whole unboxing video and it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I mainly bought the books to help, like, just for some retail therapy, and yeah, it didn't give me the nice shiny feelings that I had hoped for like getting new books. But the second attempt did help a lot. It's a weird concept to explain. So these are the first 6 books I bought from Book Outlet, and yeah, my hair looks super weird because I put orange in my hair and I messed up like the placing of the hair dye and stuff. So there's like this line right there. Just ignore it. I'm trying to. It's hard. Actually, I'm gonna show you the first book that I put in my shopping cart. It's a book I already have, but if I can get my act together, I'm going to be sending this book away on a travel book mission. So I got another copy of Every Heart a Doorway by Shada McGuire, so that I have a copy that's going to be sent away for people to mark up and stuff, and then one that I can still read whenever I want to. This novella, the list price is $24.99 Canadian, and so it was on Book Outlet for like a little less than $7. So why not buy it when it's like cheap? I got the second book in the Gemma Doyle series trilogy, Rebel Angels by Libba Bray. I have the first one, so I saw the second one. You know, that's usually how the story goes, where I try to buy all of the books in the series before I read them. Next we have a book called Seeker by Arwen Ellis Dayton, and this is about a girl named Quinn. I think it's a girl who is training to become something called a seeker, which will, you know, protect the weak and the wronged and yada yada yada, except for when she takes the oath to become a seeker, she discovers everything she knows is a lie. You know, that the concept of this book seemed nice enough for me to put it in my cart, but you know, upon getting it and reading the synopsis again, I'm like, okay, let's see. I don't know, it could be a good book. I don't know. Next we have Avalon by Mindy Arnett. This is like space pirates, basically. Kind of like a crew of teenage mercenaries. Of course, they're all teenagers. I'm finding I have more a problem with teenagers doing adult things, I guess. I think it's something along the lines of it's a quest for the main character to earn enough money to buy back his parents' ship, which is the Avalon, from crime boss employer, and getting himself and his sister out of Dodge. Adventures ensue. Adventures ensue. I don't know. I'm less enthused about these books than when I put them in my cart, and I'm still kind of about them. So this one's a pretty cover. It is the Golem and the Ginny. I am excited to get to the story when I get to it, but it's basically a golem and a Ginny, and a story that happens. I'm sure, yeah. It's like a golem and a Ginny in like 1899 New York. They gotta get along in order to survive and stuff. I've seen this book around a lot, so I saw it in a nice paperback, and so I got it. This next book is one of those books that you've seen so many times on a particular person's channel, and you think, okay, I gotta read it to see what the heck they're raving about. And I got Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. I will hopefully read this soon and see what all the hubbub is about. It's got like magic and witches and things. I explain books so well. Can you tell? But I figured these books have been around for a while. Like, I'm sure you've heard of them. One of my coworkers has been bugging me to read this book, and it's still not the right one, because this is the play version of the novel. Didn't realize that. But he's recommended me Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, and this is the play in 3 parts. So he's been bugging at me to read it. Read Of Mice and Men. Read Of Mice and Men. So I gotta read it, at least to know the story of it, so that I could, like, talk to him about it. Be like, you know what, I know the story. I get why you're so loving in this story. I don't know if there's gonna be, like, a difference between, like, reading the novel and reading the play. We shall see. These next 2 books are cute and adorable. These are stories I loved as a child, and I never actually read the books. I've only seen the movies, and I didn't even realize that it was the same author that wrote both of these books. But I loved the movies as a kid. We have The Secret Garden and A Little Princess by Frances Hodgins Burnett. I absolutely loved these movies as a kid. Just the stories behind them. I want to read them as a book in book form. And these are little puffin classics. They're so cute and tiny and adorable. I like them. And I guess it makes sense that it's by the same author, because it does have the classic girl from India, like English girl from India goes back to England theme going on. I'm kind of excited to read these and love them. These next 2 books I got on a whim, because it's book 1 and book 2. I don't know if there's going to be more books, but it's kind of urban fantasy, but the covers are ridiculously awesome, I guess. They look like this. You have The Unnoticeables and The Empty Ones by Robert Brockway, which is it's kind of like an urban fantasy story. It says there are angels and they are not beneficent or loving, but they do watch over us. They watch our lives unfold, analyzing us for repeating patterns and redundancies. When they find them, the angels simply simplify those patterns and remove the redundancies, and the problem that is you gets solved. Carrie doesn't much like that idea. As a punk living in New York City, 1977, Carrie is sick and tired of watching strange kids with unnoticeable faces abduct his friends. He doesn't care about the rumors of tar monsters in the sewers or unkillable psychopaths invading the punk scene. All he wants is to drink cheap beer and dispense ass-kicking. Caitlin isn't sure what she's doing with her life. She came to Hollywood in 2013 to be a stunt woman, but a former Team Heartthrob tried to eat her last night. Her best friend has just gone missing, and there's an angel outside her apartment. Whatever she plans on doing with her life, it should probably happen in the few remaining minutes she has left. There are angels, there are demons, they are the same thing. It's up to Carrie and Caitlin to stop them. The survival of the human race is in their hands. We are, all of us, well and truly screwed. So, just the difference of having like a punk scene in the 70s and the stunt woman got me because of a YouTuber who is a stunt woman herself, and the different time periods. It will be interesting to see how this series goes. So this book is called Last Song Before Night by Ilana C. Meyer. This feels like a bard story. It talks about this girl who has like a cruel brother and a hateful family, and she starts, she goes out on her own as a musician and a lyricist. It talks about having this forbidden power, and it just sounds like a bard story, which I'm all for. Her name was Kimberlyn Amaristroth. Okay. Sister to a cruel brother, daughter of a hateful family. But that name she has forsworn, and now she is simply Lynn, a musician and lyricist of uncommon ability, in a land where women are forbidden to answer such callings. A fugitive who must conceal her identity or risk imprisonment and even death. On the eve of a great festival, Lynn learns that an ancient scourge has returned to the land of Yarvar. Words are hard. It's E-I-V-A-R. A pandemic, both deadly and unnatural. Its resurgence brings with it the memory of an apocalypse that transformed half a continent. Long ago, magic was everywhere, rising from artistic expression, from song, from verse, from stories. But in Ivar, where poets once wove enchantments from their words and harps, the power was lost. Forbidden experiments in blood divination unleashed the plague that is remembered as the Red Death, killing thousands before it was stopped, and Ivar's connection to the other world from which all enchantment flowed broken. The Red Death's return can only have one meaning: someone is spilling innocent blood in order to master dark magic. Now poets who thought only to gain fame for their songs face a challenge much greater. Galvanized by Valinir Okun, greatest seer of an age, Lynn and several others set out to reclaim their lost heritage and reopen the way to the other world, a quest that will test their deepest desires, imperil their lives, and perhaps even transform their worlds. So it sounds like a bard story, coupled with like a D&D kind of adventure, and I am all for it. Plus the city on this book is kind of awesome. Yep. I believe this next thing is a duology. I got books about cats. I've got the Wildings and the 100 Names of Darkness by Nilanjana Roy. And these are about a group of cats in India. I believe it's a duology, I'm not sure, but basically you have a bunch of different cats who have different traits and stuff, and you know, I think this first book deals with them dealing with a gang of feral cats and have to like defend themselves and stuff. It's a book with cats in it. I had to. Plus it takes place in India, which is pretty interesting. You can look at the kitties. I'm a stickler for kitties, okay? I will overlook the deckled pages of these books. Like always, if you've read any of these books, please let me know in the comments down below. How did you like it? And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!